My name is Dave Swift, and I review a new lifetime deal every single day of the week. My reviews are comprehensive, they are honest, and they're a little bit long. If you don't have time for that, I've got the perfect solution for you. This is the Taco Truck Roundup. Every 4 or 5 videos, I make a roundup video like this one, where I obviously summarize the full-length video, but I also provide any updates if anything changed since I first hit that record button. And I'll go ahead and respond to any of your comments here. So make sure you're leaving me a message down below, and that way we can have a little virtual conversation here over the YouTubes. All right, so this is the Taco Truck Roundup. Let's get started with deal number 1, which this week is called Tarvant. Tarvant is a marketing automation platform. It does the usual things like allow you to create emails and then schedule them out or trigger them when people do certain things on your website. Throughout my full-length review, I focused mainly on those 2 components, but Tarvant does have other features like landing pages as well as surveys. What impressed me most about Tarvant was all of the little features they sprinkled in that I've never seen on other platforms that were actually truly useful. Like, for example, there was a broken link checker. All I had to do when I was writing a new email was click on the link button, and it would scan the email to make sure all of the links were valid. There's also a built-in standard operating procedure, a little checklist. You click that and it will go through and just validate that your email is set to be delivered and that you won't hit the spam box. Basically the same type of thing you'd get by using a service like Mail-Tester. However, it's built right into Tarvant. The rest of Tarvant, unfortunately, I don't think fares quite as well. It's very developer feeling, meaning that I think an average person probably could figure it out, but they wouldn't enjoy using the platform very much. Overall, it's kind of slow. There's lots of loading screens, and sometimes features just didn't work for me at all. So I think Tarvant is going to have a bright future eventually, assuming that the developer continues to refine things and maybe just gets a little bit more user-centric and not try to add too many bells and whistles, really try to find that nice balance between the power user as well as the average person that might want to take advantage of more powerful marketing automation features. Volk1 over on the comment section says, Tarvant is crazy expensive compared to the competition. And my response to that is, well, yeah, I guess I kind of agree, but I think Tarvant is going after that high-end active campaign type of crowd. And if they really were to nail that type of experience, well, then even their lifetime deal prices are a complete bargain. However, they have not quite nailed that, actually not even close to nailed that yet. So I agree, it's a little bit high priced at this time. If I were looking for a lifetime deal for email marketing, not necessarily marketing automation, I'd still go to SendFox right now. I think that is the best value on AppSumo, and it's also made by the AppSumo team. So, you know, it's gonna be supported for a long time to come. They've got the whole AppSumo platform to keep it financed. It's kind of like Apple having Apple Music versus Spotify. You know, Apple Music is just a small part of their revenue. They can afford for it to be break even, whereas Spotify makes all of their money on Spotify. Overall, I gave Tarvant a 5.7. I wouldn't rule it out, but I definitely would keep an eye on it and not put it into primetime full production use right away. That's just my 2 cents. Deal number 2 this week is Xnapper. This was AppSumo's big $5 extravaganza. They launched it on Wednesday of last week, and to much celebration and also a little bit of frustration because Xnapper is a Mac-only tool, and I saw comments left and right about being disappointed that it wasn't supported on Windows. Now, more on that in a minute, but first let me just tell you more about what Xnapper is and how you might want to use it, assuming you are a Mac owner. Now, Mac OS comes with built-in screenshotting tools, but with Xnapper, you can very easily drop beautiful backgrounds behind screenshots. You can do things like annotate them, add in nice little marketing arrows, and even do kind of FBI/CIA style redaction to blur out sensitive information in your document. It's very, very easy to just click and redact entire words, or you can have it automatically do it via machine learning. You just say, hey, look for anything that looks like an IP address or a password, and then automatically redact it. To see more about how to actually use Xnapper, definitely go ahead and check out my full-length video. It's about 16-17 minutes, and it goes through several different use cases and shows you all of the features, including some power user stuff with key commands. Now, let's take a look at the comment section, which I hinted before was not as positive as I would have expected. So we've got this one here from user, get a real username, Mac only bummer, and tons of people like this. And you know what? I don't think you're ever going to see a tool like this on Windows. That's my hunch. I actually asked every single person that complained that this was Windows only to say, well, is there a comprehensive or similar comparable type of tool on Windows? And no one gave me an answer other than something like Snagit, which is not comparable. It takes screenshots, but that's really where it ends. See, the reason that tools like this exist for macOS is the fact that there's so many great APIs built into macOS to make taking screenshots and then separating them from the background very easy. That's actually an API that comes with macOS. To do so on Windows would take unbelievably huge amounts of work, which is why I don't think one exists. There are actually several tools on the Mac that do screenshots in this style because it is so easy to do on the Mac. The other one that I've covered on this channel and came up quite a few times in conversation about Xnapper is called CleanShot X. That is also available for Mac. Actually, both of these tools are on Sept app, but if you can get Xnapper for $5, I recommend doing so. The other real point of contention that many AppSumo users had and they left in the comments was the fact that this is not a real lifetime deal. Well, I'll push back on that slightly, but I do agree in other ways. So what happens here is you have lifetime access to the version that exists right now, and you'll get updates for 1 year. Now, I guess that's not a real lifetime deal in AppSumo's world, but I think to the regular person that if you buy access to a software and you don't have to pay a monthly fee, that's going to be a lifetime deal. Or what else should it have been called? Because I don't know, what there are clear terms. They didn't try to mislead anyone. I'm not sure what they could have said here. Permanent access, temporary updates. I mean, it's a lifetime deal. You get, I don't know. Help me out in the comments here. What should this deal have been called if it is not a lifetime deal? You get lifetime access, not lifetime updates. What do you think? I mean, in all actuality, if I'm just giving you my normal human response, you'll get to use this tool for many, many years to come. It'll still be compatible with macOS, almost guaranteed. It's not going to change so much that the screenshot function just completely breaks. And all of the features that exist right now will continue to exist. If you want to get updates, they do give you a 40% discount. So it's not like they're even charging you the full rate for that update. So yeah, I guess I didn't really even see this as a problem, but a lot of people out there did complain. So what do you think? Are they just grumpy or do they have a point? Now, it wasn't all bad news here. A lot of people said, you just sold me, grabbed 2 codes, nice work. I wasn't really trying to sell anyone, just making the demonstration video. Bought 2 codes, thanks for the great work. Just purchased and probably the best $5 ever from the Web Stylist. Good to see Web Stylist back. I think that's the 3rd mention of Web Stylist on the Taco Truck Roundup. And I also grabbed 2 codes, thanks. A lot of people buying multiple copies. That never occurred to me. And then, of course, it's YouTube. So we got people like StarMap over here saying, all hype, no substance, with no explanation for what that means. I mean, the tool exists. It does everything I demonstrate. It's not going to give you $1 million. It's a screenshotting tool. And it's $5. I mean, this comment literally works on one of those guru videos that promise to teach you how to make millions of dollars in real estate investments without any money up front. All hype, no substance. Checks out. A $5 tool? I don't know. So keep in mind that Xnapper is code limited, so that by the time this video gets published, it might actually be sold out, but you can check to find out if Xnapper is available with my link in the description. And thank you to everyone who has been clicking my AppSumo links. I very much appreciate it. Deal number 3 this week is Persona Music. Persona Music is a platform for getting royalty-free music that you can use on your content. So whether you do podcasting, YouTube, or Twitch, you can go ahead and grab some music to set the right mood for your content. Now, this is a big deal because Persona Music starts off at just $29, and typically music licensing is going to be quite expensive. I don't know if you've ever tried to license a high-quality track, but it is not cheap. Now, of course, with the rise of subscription services like Epidemic Sound have become very, very popular to give you blanket access to their entire catalog of royalty-free songs. But Epidemic Sound is quite expensive. You can see even for their lowest level plan, it's going to be $10 a month. That's $120 a year. And you compare that to something like Persona Music, $29 once. Well, it's obviously a lot better deal to go with Persona. So in my full length review, I really looked at two main things. One was the quality of the music on Persona, as high a quality as you could get other places. And two, how easy was it to find a track that suited the needs that you're after? Because nobody wants to sort through thousands of tracks just to find the one diamond in a pile of hay. Is that a good metaphor? Like a needle in a haystack. I think that's what I'm going for, but not diamonds. I digress. What I found about Persona music was, number one, the quality of the music was surprisingly high. I definitely would not hesitate to grab this library and then take one of the tracks and put it into some content. I think it was above my expectations in terms of the quality. Now, there was a few things that just kind of left me feeling flat. First of all, I couldn't add another user to my account. I later found out in the comments that this is something you can do by messaging their support, and they will give you a code that you can send to somebody. It sounded convoluted. I didn't try to do it myself, but essentially what I've gathered is the fact that Persona Music focused mainly on gathering a good library of content and has not fully fleshed out the tech back end quite yet. I'm okay with this given the great deal that it is, but you do need to know going in that the overall experience of using the site can just be a little bit buggy at times. The search didn't work the way I wanted it to. That's not to say it was broken, but just not the way that most other search platforms work. It did things a little bit differently. Also, they have some AI features. Those were very limited in terms of you only got 10 searches per day, and you needed to be on the highest AppSumo plan, which is now over $100, I think 129, is that right? It's actually 149, and you can see here, you get 10 AI searches per day. But I didn't find the AI searches really to be any more helpful than just using their standard search. So I wouldn't upgrade your account just based on that alone. Now, one reason you might want to go to tier 3 is the fact that you'll be able to use their sound effects library, which I couldn't get access to in my full-length review because it's an entirely different login process, and I had to email their support to get access to that. Like I said, their tech stuff is still a work in progress, but thankfully, after I released my video, I did actually get access to that sound effects platform, and it's pretty good. So here I am logged into Persona Music. I'm in Safari. I did the review inside of Safari. Whenever I'd click over to the sound effects portion, it would just give me a loading screen and it would never actually load. However, now it does. They've clearly fixed something. I have to log in again, and these two systems are not in sync. So if you change the password on one, it will not automatically sync up to the other. So just be warned. So here is what the sound effects library looks like. Now, I do have to be honest here that I didn't get this to load the first time. I actually got that same loading bar and I had to close out Safari and reload it, and now it's working. They are improving things, I believe, but it's not 100% flawless on Safari anyway. It worked right away on Chrome. Now, on to the point that matters. I really like the sound effects libraries here. They have them organized into playlists, and they're very obvious what you're gonna get. We've got air, aircrafts, alarms, ambience, animals. There's just dozens and dozens of them here. I'd say probably right around 75 or so different playlists, and each one of the playlists could have, up to 1,000 different tracks in them. Most of them don't have 1,000. Most of them are under 100, but you get quite a few options. Best of all, the sound effects are just as good as the music. They were really high quality. They're not that kind of standard sound effect that you'll get on every single stock media library that you might already subscribe to. I mean, they even seem to take after Elon Musk in their sense of humor. If you're a content creator and you want the standard fare YouTube library of sound effects, they're gonna have your swooshes, your laser sounds, your user interface sounds, all of the kind of standard stuff that you need to have in order to fit in with the YouTube crowd. We head over to the comments section. You can see here, YouMeTubeUK said bot tier 2 and the music is quality. I do agree. Jason Zom mentioned that Feels is a great song. He remembers when they were playing it on the radio nonstop. I don't know what song that is. I didn't go back and listen to it quite yet, but they said it's in their catalog. So I guess they do literally have radio stuff on their platform, which is pretty impressive. And Jim Batty 3375 says, "Hi Safe, wondering who your favorite stock music supplier is for YouTube and socials media usage. I don't necessarily have a favorite one because it's going to depend on really what the piece needs. However, I only subscribe to one right now where I pay a monthly recurring fee, and that is Upbeat. Not an endorsement or anything, it's just that's the truth." Honestly, I'll probably cancel Upbeat and hang on to Persona. For a final score, I gave Persona a 6.6 out of 10, and that's because of all of those technical issues that I ran into. But the most important thing is what they get right, and that's the quality of the audio. So you could probably upgrade that in your head just a little bit to, balance out what's truly significant. Our last video of the week is ViewFlip. This is a remote collaboration tool that allows for tech support and screen sharing across both Mac and Windows platforms, and you can use them interchangeably as well. So this is a really great and simple tool, one-time fee. It can be similar to something like TeamViewer, where you install the software on both machines, and then you'll have a user account on both, and you can essentially just, request access to the screen. The other person allows them, and then you take control and help them troubleshoot things. There is voice integrated, so you can have a real conversation as you are troubleshooting or collaboratively working, whatever you decide to use the tool for. My only want for this tool was to have a mode where I could go more hands-free and I could just let people get access to my machine without having me grant permission. So maybe I could have a safe or whitelisted group that can take control of the machine and maybe use it for a specific application without having anyone there to supervise. This is not something that's built into the tool right now, but I'd love to see that. There are similar tools for Mac called Screens. That's one I've used in the past where you can remote into a machine and then take control of it. But yeah, this doesn't do that. So it's just me kind of daydreaming and wanting. One other thing to emphasize is that there is some detectable lag when you're controlling the other screen. Now, I would say that it's entirely usable in most tech support and collaboration settings, but if you're wanting to actually do detailed work on a remote machine, this is probably not the tool for that. Overall, I found ViewFlip to be a great value. It does exactly what it promises. I gave it a 7.9 out of 10. Okay, so if any of these deals have sparked your interest, I have links to my full-length reviews down below in the description. There are also links to AppSumo where you can click, support the channel, and grab any of the lifetime deals that we've talked about today. If you have any questions, obviously hit me up in the comments. Go check out clientamp.com for our free email newsletter, check out our premium courses, and consider hiring me to work with you to build your online business. My name has been Dave Swift. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.